Selamat sejahtera dan selamat sepupu. Sepupus, thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'm also announcing the launch of my memberships program. If you want to throw money at me, if you want to support me for as low as 10 ringgit per month, have your name in a fancy comment, click join right over there, and you get to be an intern sepupu, a junior sepupu, a sepupu, and even an executive sepupu. So thank you in advance for the support. On with the video. Sepupus, we all know about the India-Pakistan conflict, like the pictures, the videos, and the testimonies that we're getting out of Jammu and Kashmir and across the world right now are insane. Now we have Project Sindoor, a movie project, a ceasefire, and a couple of explosions later. People are talking about war, and maybe somewhere beyond the line of control, we are going to have all-out nuclear war. Well, nice knowing you, sepupus. But whoa. Surely people are smart enough to be partners, not preachers, and we can all have a wonderful solution together, right? Right? Well, end of the day, some people are memang preachers. They want you to support other preachers. And they want you to support Pakistan. That is what Dr. Maza wants you to do. If you don't know Dr. Maza is in fact a preacher. In fact, he's so good of a preacher that he became the Mufti of Perlis, which basically means he's one of Malaysia's most famous Islamic scholars, in charge of advice, podcasts, supporting one-parent child conversion, as we saw in the Lo Siu Hong case. Yes, that was him. Well, you have to question why an Islamic scholar known for his learning would get something so simple as the name of a country wrong. Maybe it's a Freudian slip, maybe not, we don't know. But if you still don't know, Anwar Ibrahim's constructive role foreign interference is still on your mind. You know what? No problem. All you need to know is that he is Zakir Naik's best friend. Yes, that Zakir Naik, the one who ran away from India because of his money laundering and hate speech charges. He is best friends with Dr. Maza, who by the way is defending him, his right to speak, calling him a victim of persecution, inviting him for international Sunnah conventions, and protecting him even after he suggested that Indians and Chinese people are guests and they should go back to their original countries. Anyway, if that still doesn't tell you that this guy is bad news, well, let's check out what he's saying.
Sedikit saya nak sebut tentang suasana di dalam dunia 2-3 hari ini. Kita melahirkan kebimbangan tentang kemungkinan berlakunya perang antara India dan Pakistan. Apapun kita tahu bahawasanya Pakistan ialah negara orang Islam dan India kita tahu ialah negara yang anti-Islam, yang menindas orang-orang Islam di dalamnya, yang menzalimi dan memusuhi orang-orang Islam di dalamnya.
I'm reminded of the way that people talk about how people are cruel in India, and how all these people are just people who never actually live in India, may never have gone to India, do not see India at all, and then conclude that, oh, the entire country is a country full of rapists or anything else out there without any personal experience because they want to justify an ideological point. Wow, lovely. Also, by the way, there are 200 million Muslims living in India. So what are you going to say about that?
Yang meruntuhkan masjid, merogol wanita-wanita muslimah, membunuh dan memukul orang-orang Islam hanya kerana mereka memakan daging lembu. Dan berbagai lagi perkara-perkara jenayah yang dibiarkan di bawah kerajaan pimpinan Modi ini. Sejak dia mengambil alih tampuk pemerintahan negara India, dia begitu kejam dengan kaum muslimin.
You know, people like these, they love talking about how Indian Muslims must be oppressed, but they forget the fact that Indian Muslims have become the president of the country. They are able to gain political power, the constitution is secular, you can hang around without sectarian violence, which by the way happens in Pakistan towards people who don't fall in line with the official narrative. Another thing that I find cute is how people like these, they seem to like to speak for Indian Muslims, claiming your brothers and sisters need to be saved. But these people don't realize that maybe these people don't actually want to be saved. There were actually parliament members who specifically didn't want to leave India, and they are perfectly fine not being a part of the land of the pure. But these people don't really care about that. They don't care about the fact that the conflict is also based on nationalism, territory, water, resources, and military strategy, but they want to reduce it all down into a single religious argument that basically supposes that people need to side with Pakistan just because of their religion. Literally papering over every single bit of the terrorism and every single part of why it is that Kashmir is even controversial in the first place, because they are Muslim.
Yang cuba dikuasai dan telah diambil oleh India sebahagiannya, yang mereka itu melakukan kekejaman dan penindasan kepada orang Islam. Apapun yang berlaku, sama ada apapun alasan yang cuba diberikan oleh ahli-ahli pengkaji politik dan sikap mereka yang memimpin dua-dua negara ini, ia tidak boleh lari daripada latar agama. Yakni permusuhan ini ialah permusuhan yang ada kaitan dengan agama. Kerana negara itu sendiri terbentuk kerana dipisahkan antara orang Islam mengambil satu wilayah yang dinamakan dengan Pakistan dan orang Hindu mereka menduduki wilayah India. Walaupun penghijrahan tidak sepenuhnya berlaku, tetapi itulah merupakan penghijrahan yang paling besar dalam sejarah manusia.
Did you actually live there? Did you actually experience it? Big question.
Kita tahu orang Islam apa yang berlaku, mestilah negara-negara orang Islam bersama dengan Pakistan.
Whoa there, Dr. Maza. You're telling all the countries of the world to unite with Pakistan, like for no reason whatsoever, to ignore the terrorist heritage, anything and everything out there which we could possibly think about, like for example, trade relations, how relevant they are to the economy, whether they actually did wrong in the first place. Wow. Lovely. Absolutely the kind of person who is just all like, you know what? Like, they're Muslim, it doesn't matter how horrible they are, you must support them.
Hati dan perasaan orang Islam juga hendaklah bersama dengan Pakistan. Kerana dia adalah saudara Muslim, al-Muslimu akhul Muslim. Orang Islam adalah saudara orang Islam.
Okay. What did we learn from that? So this man who cannot even write Pakistan properly wants you to support Pakistan. Not just that, he wants Muslims specifically to support Pakistan. Why? Because apparently India is anti-Muslim. Literally, that's his entire point. He's not talking about how, oh, we don't know whether in fact Pakistan actually did this. He's not saying, oh, there is no proof. Like, literally none of that. He is just saying, oh, because India is anti-Muslim, therefore you must support Pakistan. Wow. High-class reasoning. I have to wonder then, bro, why are Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan and Amir Khan all living in India right now, just casually hanging out? What about Asaduddin OYC? Are you gonna call him a Barwa Bangsa, Barwa Agama or something else out there? He talks about how Kashmir was a place full of penindasan and kekejaman, ignoring the fact that the terrorists had attacked literally when that tourism was at its peak, targeted people on the basis of whether or not they look Muslim, and then decided to kill them for that reason. Is that not kekejaman dan penindasan, Dr. Maza? All the while, he's just assuming somehow that these people cannot get together with one another, cannot be integrated, echoing Asim Munir's two-nation theory with Kashmir as the jugular, suggesting that these people are so special, so holy, no matter what, they must be protected as long as they stay in the religion. Wow. But you know, the last thing I want to talk about is like the al-Muslim akhul Muslim argument right there, which basically comes from Sahih al-Bukhari 2442, and the English translation is, a Muslim is the brother of another Muslim, he does not oppress him, nor does he abandon him. Whoever fulfills the needs of his brother, Allah will fulfill his needs. Whoever relieves a Muslim of hardship, Allah will relieve him of hardships of the day of judgment, and whoever conceals the faults of a Muslim, Allah will conceal his faults on the day of judgment. I mean, just read that right there. This guy is basically suggesting that even if Pakistan did wrong, at the end of the day, they need to be protected, they need to be liberated from their struggle at this point in time. When, by the way, bear in mind that there isn't even a war just yet. But still, this guy wants to play foreign minister and presume that he should decide our national policy. You know, I find leaders like this fascinating, but I also think that they're the reason that Malaysia is a weak country because you have people out there listening to people like this just because they are allegedly educated. They create divides between people, they separate people, they make people fragment along religious lines and fight one another in the country and force them to choose foreign loyalties out there like in Gaza or otherwise when their first loyalty is to Malaysia.
Which is completely different from the approach of one of our very successful neighbors, by the way.
Let me ask you right now, what does Malaysia have to do with the India-Pakistan conflict? Nothing. Should the Prime Minister be going out and trying to intervene in the conflict? No. Should you, a religious scholar who is not the foreign minister, who yes, are a believer, but have no role in deciding the policies and the directives of the entire Malaysian government as a whole? No, you do not. And Malaysia doesn't want you to. It also shouldn't, because if all you're going to do is just go out there and then tell people to fight with one another, fight for their religion, and then go out there and support Pakistan, when in reality it is our best interest to not get involved and just sell our palm oil right there. I don't know who this guy thinks he is, but it seems that a lot of people out there want to become international heroes of religion, mixing religion with politics, politics with religion, want to override every single thing out there without ever considering any nuance, thinking that they are the most right in the world and everybody must respect them. Next thing you know, if our foreign minister comes out and says, we're going to support India because of our national interest, because we trade a lot more with India and everything else out there, then this guy, for all you know, is going to come out and then start yapping about how you're a bad Muslim, which is huh? And this goes back exactly to what Jay Shankar said. This is a preacher voicing out and not a partner. Why is a preacher, a cleric that knows very little about foreign relations coming out and trying to advise our government and otherwise about how they should deal with the India-Pakistan conflict? The most intelligent solution for it is to just zip and leave it as a bilateral matter. Well, Dr. Maza, it's nice that you quoted what the Prophet said, but just know that the Prophet also said in Sahih al-Bukhari 2444, help your brother whether he is an oppressor or he is oppressed. They said, O Messenger of Allah, we understand helping him when he is oppressed, but how can we help him when he is the oppressor? He replied, by restraining him or preventing him from oppression. That is how you help him. If you look at what Dr. Maza has been saying, there's no hint of that, there's no discussion of that, no talk about the possibility that maybe, just maybe at the end of the day, Pakistan is the oppressor and not the oppressed. You can be both at the same time, but does it make sense if you're just casually going out and then saying that, oh, India is the sole oppressor? That tells you that this man has already chosen a side and he doesn't actually care about a terrorist attack. He doesn't care about actually finding justice. All he cares about is that you, as a Muslim, go out there and support Pakistan. But well, maybe that's where the Freudian slip comes from, right? Because somehow or somewhere in his mind, the Zakir Naik defender feels or thinks that Pakistan is not actually Pakistan, it is Paki. Well, thanks Dr. Maza. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Dr. Maza, and bye.